they have the right to say that I want to join a pact to protect against colonization. And they have the right to say, I don't want to be colonized. I don't want to be taken over and assimilated into Russia.
Would you let Cuba become an ally of Russia and put nuclear weapons on Cuba?
If Cuba was at threat of being invaded by America and forcefully taken over against their will, and they joined a pact with Russia to protect against that.
They are, because they've been under embargo for 60 years. I mean, sanctions, embargo, they've been starving them.
But like, what's the word?
Come on.
Annex. I'm thinking of the word.
No, they're not
annex.
going to annex, but
Yeah,
Cuba,
exactly. If they were
Cuba views the United States as an enemy country because they've been under an embargo for 60 years. The economy is devastated. They can't trade with other countries. They are actually, I mean, I don't know how they survive. They could, but we didn't let them do that. When they put missile in there, John F. Kennedy gave them an ultimatum: either you get rid of these fucking missiles, or we're gonna blow it right off the map.
That was during the Cold War.
Yeah, but I mean,
we're not at a Cold War right now. We're at a do not invade other countries and take them over as you will kind of political situation.
So what do you think the outcome is? What's going to happen in Ukraine?
So I think what's most likely is that it's like what we saw in the Middle East. Like America, the most powerful military in the world by far, was in the Middle East, where they really didn't have any training or arms, very few men, but they just couldn't take it over. It was like a decade where they couldn't make any headway into like stabilizing it, because that's just how powerful guerrilla war tactics are. If there's like a small population of people who are using guerrilla tactics, then you can never really safely claim a land. And that's what Ukraine is doing. And they're just essentially going to win a war of attrition against Russia, who is economically devastated right now. And they're going to get further economically devastated. They don't have their military was never really on par with any other like first world nation. And now they're only getting more like destitute, and eventually Russia's going to have to admit that it's not worth it to continue this war. That's the win condition for Ukraine. And I think it's honestly an inevitability, because if you look at how Ukrainians and Ukrainian soldiers and Ukrainian citizens talk about the war, they're like, no matter how many of my family members die, I will never, never, never accept defeat from Russia. I will never accept that Russia has taken over us. I will never allow myself to become a citizen of Russia. They'll fight until like the last Ukrainian.
That's the problem. But I'm going to tell you what's going to, I mean, I think they're going to take over the Donbass area, you know, where there's a lot of Russian, the majority is Russian that live in Crimea and those areas. And it's going to be a cold conflict, right?